What's up, guys? Welcome back to the ranch. All right, it's a beautiful winter day here in the end of January. It was -11 this morning when I woke up. Planned on getting out here a little bit earlier, but I pumped the brakes on that because I wanted to get to the single digits first. I knew it was going to be cold, but I also knew it was going to be sunny and it would get warm in the afternoon. And what am I doing here today on the ranch? Well, ranchers, I'm out here with the habitat hook and some chainsaws, and I'm going to get some bedding areas made. So, bedding areas, what is that? Well, we're just above my food plot. I don't know, maybe about 10 yards. And you might be able to see this rock behind me here. When I first bought the ranch, I named that bedrock. Out in the woods, they call it bedding. Welcome to bedrock. Because all the doe were bedding up against that rock. And as you can also see behind me, my woods are pretty open. There's not much happening in here. So we're gonna do some tree dropping and hinge cutting away from the bedrock in a fashion where if this was my tree and the rock was my fist, we're gonna tip them away and kind of create some light and a wall of trees around the outside of that rock. This way, they could actually bed there in the winter on a day like today and get out of the wind, have some back cover, have a little bit of an interesting spot where they can walk around the rock and move out of the wind, and also be right above my food plot. Because right now, they could just see straight down my whole property, all the way down to the street from here, which also is no good because when I access to hunt my property, I'm walking the street in front of my property and want to come up. And if they could just see me coming right along the street, they may get up and move. Yeah, it's far away. We're talking 200 yards. Still, I don't even want them to see me go across the front. So I want to put some tree noise screening to keep them from seeing me also accessing the corner of my property over that way. And we're going to do that by dropping trees and stacking some logs in a very small area, just around what I call bedrock. Now, might also be saying, why am I doing this in the dead of winter? Why don't you wait till it's nice and warm? Well, there's method to this madness. A, I wanted to make sure the deer are still interested in this spot, looking for their tracks in the snow, and they are. And B, I also want to do this now because this is a time of year where deer start to hurt for food. This snow is not going anywhere here in upstate New York for the remainder of the winter. It may melt some and freeze some, and sometimes that's even worse because, all right, there's 3 inches of snow, but there's also 2 inches of solid ice on top of that snow, which makes like a 4-inch layer of impenetrable barrier that the deer can't get to their food that's below that snow and ice. And I know my math didn't work out, but that's because in that inch in the middle there, it's like a snow-ice combo, and the deer just have to spend a lot of energy. They can't smell their food below it. It's a lot tougher for them. And that's why we're doing this now, because these trees have some buds and have some tips on them already. And we're gonna bring those trees down now when deer are really looking for some food source. This will provide them with that food for a few weeks with the little bit of trees I'm gonna drop here. Plus I'm gonna add that wind break that they can get behind and stay warm by being out of the wind. Because a -11, deer's ears could freeze off and they could lose the tips of their ears on a windy night like that. We're gonna go in and do some bedding around an area I call bedrock. All right, guys, let's get started. checking in about halfway through what I wanted to do. I'm here in front of Bedrock. Out in the woods, they call it bedding. Welcome to Bedrock. And I got a lot of the big trees down. I wanted to get some more video for you, but my camera froze. Do you believe that? It froze. So I had to run it back into the camp, put it back on the charger, and I got to work. But I stopped, took a little break. I'm on my like 4th round of chainsaw gas in the chainsaw itself. I only got my little guy here today. I wish I had the bigger chainsaw, but it's in the shop getting repaired. Let me show you kind of what's happening here when I spin it around. So if you look, these are my 2 bedrocks. We got one here and we got one there. And now you can't see in between them so much. And then on this side of the bedrock is where the deer walk up to my food, not my food plot, walk up to my tree stand. So right here along this side is where the deer walk up to my tree stand. So I'm leaving it kind of open, and you could see their trail just goes right along, and I just accentuated it. This is a little overheady, but it's okay. Hopefully deer will just stoop right underneath it like I just did without even really breaking stride, and then follow this down. So that's down, and kind of point them right the way they were going. Now if you come back and turn around, I kind of got all these nice waist-high pockets of stuff. And I'm on the fence about cutting this because I have to step over it. And I want them to be able to get to and from each of the rocks at Bedrock here. But you could see so much more for them to kind of hide out in and bed. I really made it nice and like a nice perimeter. Now I have to cut some accesses in and out of this, but I wanted to make it kind of messy at first, just to really make them have like a coliseum, if you will. So now I said I'm about the halfway point, because I took down some nice big timber, put some big holes in the sky here, get some light down. And what I left was the absolute fun part. I have all these little trees that I'm gonna hinge and pull over, and my creme de la creme here, it's gonna be my box elder. Look at all the shoots on this. So when I cut this down, I'm gonna run it right alongside this and just make a mess here, and this should just sprout like crazy. So they'll have like the bedding on the rock, a real nice food source. All this should regrow. We'll get some birds in here, dropping seed, and we should get, with the light, some vegetation explosion. All right, here we go. Look at that nice bedding. Look at it. Oh yeah. A little clearing, like a pavilion in the middle there. All nice and chopped up. Much better than straight open timber. And I wish I could go more, but I'm out of time. All right, guys. I'm actually running out of daylight. I would have liked to get a little more footage for you, but who wouldn't? I'm going to try to run up there tomorrow and show you what I came up with, what I cut. And I'm stopping now because it's that last hour of daylight, and I want the woods to settle down. I love this time of day. I try to watch how the doe and deer roll into my yard, and that's what I want to do now. So stop the saw, cleaning myself up. I'm going to sit out here and watch the deer come in. All right, more coming tomorrow. What's up, guys? Welcome to day 2 here. We are at my bedding project. I ran out of sunlight yesterday, and we are at bedrock again. Out in the woods, they call it bedding. Welcome to bedrock. And you could see or not see bedrock because I dropped a lot of screening and noise in front of it with trees. So yesterday I did large trees first, and then smaller trees that I was able to hinge and pull over, and I created a whole bunch of structure around what I was calling this bedrock. And that's where the deer are gonna lay and hang out, and they'll have like essentially what I feel like it looks like a coliseum of like noise and screening around it. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna take you a tour inside of what I created yesterday. I am not done. There's a lot of access points that need to be cut in, a few more smaller trees that need to be hinged over that I want to get more sunlight in there, more screening, but I'm out of time. I got to make my way back to suburbia and work. All right, here we go. Let's take a tour of what I created yesterday, this doe bedding area right above my food plot. So the camera is, at face height right now, as you're seeing, and I'm going to show you that is one bedrock, and then here is the other one that you kind of can't see, but that's what I wanted. I'm creating all these treetops that I laid all out here and made structure. They're all about waist to head height, and I made a few entrance points in and out of this, and I'm going to take you into one and show you. Actually, I'll step back for a second. Let me show you. Just yesterday, after I left, I have a ton of deer interest already. Fresh poop. I have a bed that was made, so they bed already in here, and they were in here, and you could see that's a nipped top. This is a nipped top. That's what that looks like when the deer start eating all this stuff. So they've been in here browsing just on the edges already. Now let's head on in. So I made it a little zigzaggy because you don't want to make anything too straight, otherwise it's too open. And as I enter in, got some hinge cuts away, nice and accessible. And yep, the deer have been in here already too from last night. And here it is, my bedrock. One of 2. With a really nice, I'm happy at that hinge. Look at that hinge, and I have it supported by logs and hinges over here. Really happy with that. This should sprout and stay alive and do really well, especially because if we pan up now, there's not much over it anymore. And we should get good regeneration for in here in the bedding area. So I'll circle around. You can see I got a nice little spot in here, 3 walls. Facing down that they could get in and behind. I have another access point here where we can access right out into that zigzag there. And then they usually come up and head now underneath these little head high. I don't usually do head high, but I needed to make some sort of screening because the topiary goes up, and I wanted to screen it high, so that's why I made head high there. And there you walk underneath it right up my mountain. And then we're coming back around to the top. And this is all screening that I created, and way better than open timber. Open timber that's just too open, and I could do more in here. I just ran out of time for now. And my second rock here, which I created all this side noise and stuff for them to kind of hang out in and access. And here again, we got a bed in here already, just from yesterday. Another bed, so that they are in here, and I'm just complimented what they liked already. I mean, they were just in here, so it's awesome. And I made an access point in here to get in and out of this. You know, with nice, high, thick cover, and this is totally open now, and they can get in here and really just enjoy some cover and some food from these tops. I love it. I love it. I wanted to give you one other angle before I end this video. So I'm standing in the middle of my 1/4 acre food plot here that I have on the ranch. Again, I'm not a professional. I'm just a super enthusiast. So this is only a 1/4 acre for now, but I'm learning, enjoying the process, getting stronger, getting better, and advancing my land. And what we're looking at is me standing in my middle of my food plot. The camera is at head height, straight in front of me, and you used to just be able to see right into the woods to my bedding rock right there. But now, as I pan, it looks like a solid wall, and it is not. There are some access points that I made, and I didn't make them go straight into the woods. I have the deer coming out on angles to create this, not create, but to keep this illusion of solid wall, because I want the deer to get behind there and feel safe, particularly the doe, right here, right in from my food plot, so maybe they don't have to travel that far. Yeah, I blew them out of here this morning trying to get in here to show you this video. But I wasn't really in stealth mode. My access trail, I didn't do any of that. I kind of just barreled through the center of my property to get here. And I blew them out. Snow wasn't helping. It's super crunchy. They heard me coming a mile away. I tried to be a little quieter, but not super stealth. And anyway, I blew them out of here, and you could see I got a nice little wall, and that whole wall from here looks like it's 10 feet tall, but it's really only about chin height on me, which is enough to get the deer behind and, you know, feel safe to bed in there a little bit more than just straight open timber. Now I'm going to show you the other side of my food plot, where is what it used to look like. So now I'm at the far corner of my food plot looking in, and this is what we started. See the difference? No wall, no barrier, no screening, and the deer can see me. I mean, I can easily see 100 yards. If there was a deer up there poking over behind like that little log at 100 yards, I would see their head. They would bust me, you know? And this is way open, and I'm trying to change that and get a little more structure and interest here above my food plot. And that's why I put the bedding here. It's not obviously not as big as I could go, but you got to start somewhere. Again, enjoying the process and building this giant bedding area. All right, guys, this is my bedding area here that I just created. it's not that huge. My fruit plot is 1/4 of an acre, and I'd say the bedding area is, you know, even smaller than that. Probably half of my food plot, let's just go, now has a bedding area behind it. And I'd love to do more, but you know, it's hard work. It's not easy, and I'm a one-man act, so just doing a little at a time. Again, I have to come back and finish. I'm only about 85% of the way done. I appreciate you hanging in there. I know this was a longer video. I try to do some short ones more than long form, but this is just how it worked out. There's a lot that goes into this, and I could have filmed more of me cutting and stuff, but I just wanted to show you where we ended. You could see it behind me. Nice thick screening. All right, guys, thanks for watching.